Welcome to Burned and Better. I'm your host, Dr. Denisa Weber, a seven-figure CEO, speaker, mother, entrepreneur, and chiropractor. Over the last 15 years, I've faced the highest highs and the lowest lows of entrepreneurship, motherhood, and leadership. I've burned more times than I can count, but every time I've found a way through and come out better. This isn't about polished highlight reels. It's about the real, unfiltered side of leading, the kind of conversations usually kept behind closed doors. Here, I share my own stories and sit down with leaders who've stumbled, recalibrated, and built something worth leading. So if you've ever felt the weight of success or wonder what it looks like to fall hard but rise stronger, you're in the right place. Let's normalize the messy middle of leadership and step into the episode. Hey guys, welcome back to another Burn and Better episode. This one is coming to you solo, and I'm excited because after interviewing just even the first couple of founding voices, and there's a couple more to come that are going to be released this next month, there's been kind of a golden thread. And first off, I kick off by saying I'm sorry because this is as much as I've had in the past week and a half, and I'm not going to wait for it to get better to record this because, sometimes when things are flowing, they're flowing. You just got to get into it. And I was just on a walk and I was just thinking about the episodes that we've had and some of these leaders that have been sharing. And there's kind of a recurring thread, especially with leaders. Most of them they start out as givers. And there's a lot of bleeding heart, especially in the people that I've interviewed so far. So it's not to say that every single person is like this, but more often than enough, I run into people who are, especially in our industry, especially in the healing arts, or if you're in healthcare, you're usually trying to, serve. You're wanting to give of yourself. You're wanting to serve people. You're wanting them to get better. And so there's already a bleeding heart element to what we do anyway. So we're like nurses, health practitioners, naturopaths, homeopaths, doctors, chiropractors, healthcare providers. I mean, all of us are trying to help and improve humans in their expression of health, hopefully. Anyway, then you put us with teams. And a lot of times, these bleeding hearts in us in the service industries, we can end up giving out of some unhealthy places. And what happens is that giving sometimes doesn't land as gratitude. Sometimes it ends up landing us into teams of entitlement or expectation or unrealistic expectations. And what I mean by that is, and I guess the best way to kind of convey this is a story. Back in I can't even remember what year it was, but I had a smaller team. And I remember just as a leader, I would just give gifts. I'd give gifts. And I would say and to set the stage here, we had Monday meeting, we'd have our Monday meetings would be at, we wouldn't be having a meeting inside the office. This was dumb, but we would go and have it at a restaurant. And to tell you that these meetings were productive is a farce. They were not even close to being productive. It was more like a reporting. And we would go to different restaurants, and my team was just oh, I know we're going to eat lunch here. And it wasn't let's get things ready for the meeting. It was let's pick out the next place we're going to eat lunch. And I would just pay for it. So there was that. But then also I would give out of a place of, I don't know, fear, give gifts, be I just want to keep them. I just want to keep them on our team. I want them to feel appreciated. Or I just would randomly give it. It was it wasn't matched to a certain effort. It was just randomly given. Again, there's chaos in this story, and I'm trying to set the stage for what actually ends up happening here. But basically I would just I would give gifts, and it wouldn't match even, or it didn't make sense based upon even profitability in our practice. That even there was needle moving activity. It was even in low months, here I am gifting my team. And honestly, it was me that was producing the growth as far as serving the most, but also producing the most revenue increase. And the rest of the people in the team were more systems and infrastructure holding up the revenue generation. And so they weren't necessarily integrated into moving those certain revenue markers or KPIs forward besides just holding up infrastructure. And so I'm rewarding my team not based upon anything it didn't make any sense, guys. None of it made sense. So leading this into one year, we end the year, and I'm like, I just want to like celebrate. Like, I just want them to feel appreciated, not to mention that we're about to take 2 weeks off for Christmas and they're going to get paid, whatever. But I take them to a restaurant. We have our Christmas lunch, some gift, like a little gift exchange. And I strategically put that lunch across the street from a designer store. And I wanted to, because I gave out of the place of what I thought I would love. And I was like, this would be an awesome idea. I've always wanted to do this for a team. And we walked across the parking lot and I was like, we walked into this designer store and I said, buy whatever bag you want. Merry Christmas. And it was just like, and I thought it would be met with like, oh, thank you so much. Like, this is so neat. And it was more kind of like forced. It was a little forced. I noticed immediately one of the team members goes straight to her phone, and turns out I find out later she was looking for the most expensive bag in the store so that she could resell it. Then I later find out. So like here, this Christmas gift, I'm like, yay! I'm elated. I'm excited. Again, didn't match anything besides just like, this is what we're gonna do for Christmas. Yay! And then I find out later, one of the team members, she was still on the team at the time, we go to a training in Chicago. And for whatever reason that she thought it was good to share this information is beyond me. She basically uncovered and allowed me and told me that, yeah, none of us really wanted that anyway. None of us really liked that designer anyway. And I was like, excuse me? Time out. Like, what? First off, I do not see the gain or the benefit of sharing that piece of information. Honestly, she probably should have kept that to herself, because two is, it's incredibly hurtful to share to someone who thought that they were doing something kind for their team, especially when it wasn't warranted. But when she shared this with me, I was like, there is such a huge cancer of entitlement here. And I mean, it really, like, I remember going, I will never do this again. I will absolutely never do this again. Here, I'm telling you guys, like, I'm a guillotine girl. I'm a pendulum. I'm like, you hurt, and then it's like this full retraction back, and it's like, well, I was a giver, and now I'm not a giver anymore. And yeah, I mean, there was just this huge imbalance. And after talking with some of my girlfriends, and not even my girlfriends, like even some of my friends that are guys that have practices and stuff like that. I mean, like this is a common theme where people are trying to like balance the gift giving, or the, how do I show appreciation for my team? How do I do all these things? And I mean, I really got my feelings hurt with this, but I had to set up some nice little healthy boundaries for this specifically for me. So I knew when to quantitatively what again, like what A, warranted a gift, B, what quantifiable measurements are there to qualify for gifts, to where I'm not in this situation where it's like, because if I look at my heart and I go, well, why did you give that? Well, one, were you giving out of fear? Two, were you giving because you just thought that that's what you're supposed to do? You saw it, that other practices were doing stuff like that. So you thought like this, I want to do that too. Let's do that. Like it can't be like that. And for me, I retracted. I kind of like looked at everything and said, there has to be a system to this. And so I know, shocker, like a system to an organization to this, because there's people that give way more than I do at this point in time in my industry, but also like there's some people who don't do as much as I do anyway. So I had to put systems in place. The systems were like, hey, this is your job, and your job is supposed to push certain key metrics forward. Like that is your role. And if it doesn't, then you're not doing the job correctly. So that is actually the baseline requirement, which is your job requirement, right? Now, quarterly KPIs, if you meet certain quarterly key performance indicators, then you can you can hit certain bonuses based upon this. Then we have anniversaries, work anniversaries, or birthdays. Those quantify gifts from me as the leader of my team, or as the owner of the team, of the business, excuse me. And, I give everybody an all about me, and a lot of you do as well. It's just like finding out, again, what do they like? What are their dislikes? I like to know their pet peeves. I like to know what are their love languages? Like, are they a words of affirmation person? Are they a gift person? If they were to give a gift card, where would they like it from? What are the kind of candies they like? What kind of, flower colors do they like? If they were to get a big gift, what do they value? And also, like, if they were to be given a bonus, would they want more paid time off, or would they want cash? And so we get that information. And before I got that information, but it wasn't like I wasn't using it in a system. And so now with the team, like if I do my team check-ins or whatever, if I know that they're a words of affirmation person, then I need to make sure that I'm affirming that. So I will speak to this, is that I was deficient in words of affirmation to my team. I felt like the job's the job, do the job. I don't need to be giving you positive feedback. I know that sounds so stupid, and especially my coaching husband, who coaches in a completely different way than I've led in the past. He's a words about, he builds people up. He speaks into their life, and I'm like, I'm not like, they're supposed to do the job. Like, I don't need to be like, you're doing it great. And it's like, yes, you do. You need to. So I will say, like, I was gift giving, even though I was not, like, I wasn't even recognizing them. So, like, even recognizing them on social, I wouldn't make them feel special on social media. I didn't post about them. I didn't like try, I didn't want, I don't know. I don't know why. It was just more of like, either I forgot, or it just wasn't important to me. And I didn't build them up or give them like great feedback. I would guess I was just like, well, I gave you a gift. Isn't that recognition enough? So again, wasn't speaking to people's love languages, or again, it also wasn't even systemized. Like, there was just if y'all are looking at this and going, man, she was a mess. Yes, there was definitely a mess in this, and figuring out how to support a team, or even like have them feel valued. But like, I was not doing a good job verbally affirming my team or building them up. But I was gift giving, maybe as a lack of saying the things that maybe I didn't really want to say. I don't know. And that's like, for me, when I look introspectively, I'm like, maybe I was avoiding that. I don't know. But now I have systems. Now I'm affirming. Now I know I have more intel and how I can speak into who they are, know where they are in their personal goals, looking into those things. But after listening, kind of the golden thread in some of these conversations, whether it was Elise or Devin or Steph or Lauren, like, we had common threads of being pushed over, like being pushovers, creating culture that was toxic because it was entitled, gift giving just as like a kind of like a reaction, being basically moving to the whims of like whatever the requests were, because somebody didn't want to feel stressed or they felt stretched too thin. And I will say, like, there's times when people who they don't have kids, and they tell me, I'm just so stretched. I'm so stretched thin. I don't have time. I don't have margin. I honestly literally cannot even stand it. Like, it has been really hard for me to have grace for people like that, because I'm like, you have no freaking clue until you have kids. What margin like you have right now is absolutely insane. And I will say, looking back at my own life, every single time I thought I was so busy, and bless the hearts of the people who listen to me be and moan about being so busy, especially my parents when I was in college, how, oh, woe is me, it's just so much. It's like, oh, I want to just go back to her and like flick her in the face and say, it's not, grow up. And she had to persevere through that to figure out that the next season I thought I was too stretched thin. And then I got to the next season of my life. And now when I'm in where I'm at now, I'm like, and I look at what I have going on, what's going on in my life, and somehow still creating margin. I'm like, girl, like, you have no idea how what busy is. So, I mean, like, sometimes it's hard for me to have empathy for people who don't have as much going on in their lives as I do, and for them to tell me that they're burnout, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like again, like what are we talking about here? What is going on? And so again, my lack of empathy, my lack of building people up, but also like just getting your heart, like you're wanting to be kind to your team and for them to say something like that wasn't what we wanted. Oh man, like that was something special, I'll tell you what. And from there, learning that I don't necessarily need to like move into not building people up, but having systems in place that allow for me to give. And if I want to give something that's special, it is when someone goes above and beyond. Above and beyond. Like that's what a bonus is. Bonus is bonus on top of what the job entails. That you've gone above and beyond this. Here you go. You've gone above and beyond this. Here you go. And recently I got to celebrate our team. In Q3, we brought on a new EHR system, which was it's been great. It's just been a lot. And some of the integrations have been wonky with our old systems. And so they've just had to like shoulder quite a bit. And then on top of that, our practice was definitely impacted with the floods that happened at the Guadalupe and the families that were impacted there in our community and just holding space for a lot of grief. And our team did a beautiful job of just, loving on people, praying with them, being there for them, praying for them. And they did it without me there for like the month of July. We hit certain metrics, like we heard, like they needle moved big time in goals. And we're looking for ways and strategies of refinement, getting better. How can we make this easier? How can we increase the patient experience? I mean, like they were doing a lot. And we actually had we met one of our biggest quarters despite all the things that was going on. And that was with me not as heavily involved because I think the quarter that we met was a quarter that we were training 2 doctors and I was there as one of the primary providers. So it's huge. That's absolutely huge. And I got to spend more time with my family, which was amazing. And they provided that for me. And so we celebrated. We celebrated big time. And we had it's called the color edit, which is a match of like getting your colors done, but then also having your colors done and then having your makeup done to match your colors. So everyone, I am a soft autumn is what I've found out, which I never really thought I'd be an autumn, and I don't even know what that means, honestly. I'll have to bring her in. She'll have to talk about it, but it was a great experience and the girls loved it and they felt special. And we have 3 brides on our team right now, 3 engaged. And so it was really helpful for them to know what white in their dress is going to be the best for them. And, we love celebrating like that. Like, and everyone was super grateful. And it was like, that's stuff that I love to do is bring a great experience. And we have a makeup artist. She's in our practice who's fantastic. She's a super mom. And we've been talking about it forever about getting this together. And I was just so glad that I could finally do this for our team and we had a reason to do it. And that was rewarding. And people said thank you and they were grateful. And I'm grateful for them. And so there's been true healing now on the other side of kind of going through, not really creating a very clear picture as to what quantifies a reward for team in the past, to then getting my feelings really hurt when they don't like it. And I just know that there's a lot of bleeding hearts out there alongside me and some of us that are just toughened up over time and, created a system or, a system of accountability that can produce measurements that allow for gift giving to occur. And then I'm also more cognizant of speaking more positively to my team, building them up, telling what I notice that they're doing well instead of just being like, that's not how you do it. This is how you do it. And that's another episode because I do hold a high standard and I do course correct like immediately because I don't like things to fester based upon my past experiences. But yeah, the whole gift giving, it's a thing. And all of us that we love our teams, like, and I want our team to feel feel loved, but I also also have have big feelings, and I know people are going to disagree with me, but when people call their team a family, like my family's my family and my team's my team. And I can say it's the SLC family, but like I'm not at the end of the day going home to my team. I'm going home to my family. And that's something that I'm like, I'm not looking to have my emotional needs or my spiritual needs or any of that met by my team. My team is I love the people that I get to work with. I want to have fun with them. I want them to grow in their lives. I want them to meet their personal goals. I want to see them thrive. And at the same time, they're not my family. And they're my team, and I have my family. And so I've just been very clear as to what is what in my life. And maybe you do perceive your team as your family, and so be it. Like, we can agree to disagree. But for me, it was very good for me to be very clear on that for myself moving forward, because I was like, what am I doing? Taking away a reward for my kid, when we didn't have the profit margin to even give a gift to the team, takes away from my family at the end of the day, So anyway, I hope this is beneficial, and I would love to hear your takeaways from this episode. But for now, I'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in to Burned and Better. Follow the show so you never miss an episode. And if you're feeling generous, tap 5 stars or write us a quick review. That's how this work is going to grow. I'd love to hear what stood out for you in this conversation. Share this episode, tag me at Southern_Cairo on Instagram, and pass it on to someone who needs it today.